Hi there, J3 here and welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about the third way to grow passive income, and that is through business. But before we go into how to have a successful business, let's first take a step back on one of the earlier lessons in this training, from the stage of burdens. If you haven't watched the videos from there, I recommend that you take a look at it first because there are similar principles when it comes to earning money. One of the rules of money there was money equals value. If you provide value to others, then you'll be able to earn an income. Now, at this stage, there is one significant goal that you have to pursue. You'll have to create value for others in such a way that it's automatic. In a way that even if you're not there or you're rarely there, you'll still be able to deliver the value. This is done by leveraging other people's time, talents, and skills, as well as leveraging technology. In other words, you're going to own a system of earning money. It's not you earning money, but the system itself. And there are many different kinds of businesses today. But my goal here in this stage is not to show you the best business ideas for this year or for the next year, because there are none. There is no such thing as a best business that will work for everyone. But what does exist is a best business for you. Many people think that going into business is a matter of being in the right place at the right time. But the most crucial factor, which is often neglected, is that you also have to be the right person running the business. Several studies have shown that more than 90% of small businesses fail within the first 5 years. And this statistic is universal, meaning whether you're in the Philippines, in the US, running a restaurant, a salon, or a clothing store, that 90% failure rate still exists. So why is that 90% fail and only 10% succeed? What is it that separates the 10% from the 90%? This brings us to the number one rule for starting a successful business. And whether you follow this number one rule alone will highly affect whether you'll succeed or fail. The number one rule is play where you can win. We as people aren't created equally, and that's great for business. We are all unique in our physique, personality, skills, innate talents, the people we know, what we know, and what we care about. And the number one rule is all about taking full advantage of the things that make you unique. It's about understanding what would give you your competitive advantage in the world. In the entrepreneurial community, playing where you can win is also described as finding and working in your business sweet spot. And this sweet spot is an intersection of, number one, your strengths. These are your natural inborn talents. Number two, your passion. These are the things that you're interested in and what you care about. Number three, your resources, the things that you have, your education, your connections, and your capital and your professional experience. And lastly, the opportunity. This is the service that people will pay for. Now, many entrepreneurs end up selecting a business that will only satisfy, number four, the opportunity. They ask for, what's a good business idea? But discount the fact that they also need to satisfy numbers 1 to 3, their strength, their passion, and the resources available to them. They focus on the opportunity rather than have a good balance of the opportunity and themselves as businessmen and women. For example, I was able to speak with one of my subscribers who is working as an IT consultant abroad, and he told me he really wanted to start a business so he could come home for good. So I asked, what kind of business? He said, farming. And when I asked, bakit farming? He said, it's because his parents own a piece of land which can be utilized. Now, usually, when I ask about the businesses people want to start, it's often to find out if the idea itself is in their sweet spot. So, for this person's case, it was sounding a bit off. He is an IT consultant working abroad for the past 10 years. Then, a business of farming? Parang may disconnect, di ba? So, I probed further. I asked, well, what are your passions or hobbies? And I learned that he was actually very interested in photography, and immediately I sensed that he got more excited talking about it. Then I asked him about his job as an IT consultant, if he likes it or not, and he also said yes. He said that he's fascinated because the problems are like puzzles that he has to solve. The only thing he doesn't like is that he's abroad, and that's why he'd like to start a business. So immediately, I could see that farming was way out of his sweet spot. He just pointed to farming as a business because his parents owned a piece of land. So, a business related to photography or maybe IT consulting would be a much better fit for him because it's closer to his sweet spot. And this is the way that I'd like you to approach what business to start. Ask yourself first if it's within your sweet spot. Does it fall under your strengths? Are you genuinely interested or passionate about the topic? Do you have the resources? And lastly, is it something that people buy? If it falls under your sweet spot, then go for it. If not, try to find something else more aligned with what you're really passionate about and where you have an advantage. In the next videos, you're going to learn about the different channels of business and different kinds of opportunities as well as some recommendations for business startup resources. But always keep this number one rule in mind. Play where you can win. If you forget this rule, there will be a strong tendency to jump from one opportunity to the next. You'll just get distracted and you won't be able to focus and you won't be able to get any results. Again, remember, the number one rule, play where you can win. And that's it for this video. See you in the next one.